Jadon Sancho to leave Manchester United? Well, there's an offer on the table. According to sources in Italy, it's now down to Manchester United and what they do. Scott McTominay's bid from Napoli was rejected yesterday, but talks are ongoing, says Fabrizio Romano. A possible hijack on the Jadon Sancho situation? We'll see. We'll talk about that as well. Romano says, calm down. Everything is all right regarding the Manuel UGARTE deal. Well, it's gone a bit quiet over the last 2 days. Is it about to kick off again? Let's get through all of that. Let's forget about what happened yesterday and look about what Manchester United can do now to resolve this issue that we have got within our squad and the unbalanced squad that we seen in full view yesterday against Brighton. This is your This is not a Monday. God, I'm getting ready weekend. Sorry, this is your Sunday morning 8 o'clock update show on everything transfer related with Manchester United. Tiny little bit of the aftermath from yesterday and what happened there, but I think we said enough about the game yesterday. We know where the problems are. What can United do, like I said, in the next 6 days to rectify the squad issues that we have got and the holes that are clearly in this squad? Players that aren't good enough, players we need in. Why are United not able to get these deals over the line? Why are we not the ones collecting money for wingers when other clubs are and nobody wants our players? Yes, there lies the problem. Please give the video a like, guys. Let's get up on another 1,000 likes on this video. If you want to give yourselves a bit of a kick up the arse and give yourselves a bit of a big up, you know what, let's forget about yesterday and look positive into the transfer market and what we can do this next few days. Give the video a like. Make sure you've subscribed to Forever United TV so you miss no content and no news that is breaking on Manchester United, because I've got you covered when anything happens. We are here live constantly, 3 times a day, guys. 8 o'clock, 12 and 6:30 every single day. It is free content. Make sure you've given the video a like and subscribe to the channel. And let's get into what is actually happening with Manchester United on the transfer front. Well, obviously, after the game yesterday, all focus was on, here we go again. Oh my God. Is it the same old United? Well, looking into everything else that's happening, and luckily we've still got a transfer window to try and turn a few heads into the positive direction, because positive direction would ultimately be getting rid of certain issues within this squad. Jadon Sancho being one of them, and the news and updates regarding Jadon actually escalated last night. Some sources, remember our man Nick Semeraro? Well, he came out with a story. I actually messaged him to double check on this story, that he thinks that this is, in his words, locked and loaded. Jadon Sancho is done. Then I seen Damasio come out and back that up. And then this morning, Romano's come out and backed both of them up and where we're actually at right now with Jadon Sancho. So let's have a look at what the current situation is. When it comes to Nick and what he said, he basically said that Juventus have made an offer to United. It's pretty much done. Jadon Sancho has agreed terms and everything like that, and we're just waiting now. It all depends on Chiesa leaving Juventus, which now looks like he's going to Barcelona. Now, I don't get how that one, and that's why I'm a bit sceptical that this deal is no way near done yet. But, I mean, people are talking, and we have to just talk about what they've said. But, obviously, Dani Olmo is still not registered by Barcelona. They cannot register him. They've had to ship bloody Gundogan back off to City and still not registered Dani Olmo. He's not in the game against Atleti. That is embarrassing. So how Barcelona are going to get Chiesa in from Juventus, which apparently is going to fund Jadon Sancho, I have got no idea. Let them sort that shit out as long as Jadon Sancho's out of the door. But I can't help but feel like this deal, as well as people are saying that this is moving along and negotiations are happening, if it is pending on Chiesa going to Barcelona, then I'm worried, and I don't see this moving smoothly or happening anytime in the next couple of days. This could be dragged out till the last and let Barcelona deal with their shit, which is why I think Manchester United have been linked in again from another report from Spain about De Jong possibly being swapped in with Jadon Sancho and Barca taking Jadon Sancho. Apparently there's a deal on the side where it's 20 million euros and Jadon Sancho for Frenkie de Jong, and United will be happy to move that. Deco apparently is happy with that, obviously the sporting director at Barcelona. Again, it seems a bit long-winded to me. I'm only talking about what reports are out there. But this all come about from when Nick Semeraro said last night that Chiesa is moving to Barcelona, and I'm scratching my head with that. Then I've seen De Jong and that, and I'm scratching my head even more. And then looking what Damasio has said and what Fabrizio Romano has said. And let's get into what both of them have actually said. Despite the signing of Conceição and Nico Gonzalez, Juventus are still interested in Sancho and wants to close the deal in certain conditions. Straight away, red flag, because we heard that Juventus wanted 2 wingers. Conceição and Gonzalez are in, and Juventus have spent money on them. Honestly, I feel like crying when I see Juventus spending money on them and then trying to sting Manchester United again. You can see what Manchester United are up against and the new regime is up against with what we're dealing with previous deals. Like, nobody wants to go near or commit anything to any Manchester United player at the moment. There's like this disease, there's like this virus running around Manchester United players and being sold to other clubs. We cannot get any money for them or convince anybody to take them off our hands unless it's some of the younger talent and younger players. Anyone that's been transferred into Manchester United, nobody wants to go near them. They see Manchester United as a laughing stock, an absolute joke at the transfer window. And Ineos and their structure are trying to change that. They're trying to change that perspective of Manchester United and how people are looking at us. Because right now, we are looking down the barrel of Juventus, according to what Nick Semeraro said, wanting Manchester United to pay Jadon Sancho's wages and put in an option to buy instead of an obligation to buy. And we talked about this the other day. The Athletic came out and then backed that. Well, didn't back it up. They kind of poo-pooed that by saying United will only sell Jadon Sancho if they get financial benefits from it, i.e. his wages are paid, there's a loan fee, and there's an obligation to buy. And I said that yesterday. That's all good and well and fantastic, but still, I don't see that happening either because no one's stupid enough to do it. And that's how it looks from the outside. We have our prices. We have our sensible heads on from a United perspective with our red-tinted glasses on. But when you look at it from the outside and when you look at what other clubs are saying about Manchester United and the prospect of bringing a United player in, there's obviously the concern and the worry there that they're going to get the same shit situation that United have been dealing with. And you only have to look at all of the players that have left and what we've had to do to get rid of them. Jadon Sancho is a pain, a royal pain in the arse for this football club, and it's not his fault. We have to accept that this is Manchester United's fault, not the players' fault, and we are stuck in this shit situation. Moving on to what Romano said, Juventus are still in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent and Manchester United. They remain interested. Fabrizio Romano said yesterday he was out of the squad for Brighton, pending a move to Juventus. United were thinking of a permanent transfer for Sancho, but Juventus will not do that in the final days of the window. It could be a loan with a buy clause and salary to be discussed because Juventus will not cover the entire salary. So Nick Semeraro is right in saying that Juventus will not be paying Jadon Sancho's wages in full. So what the Athletic said has been put aside as well now by Romano and the Italian reporters. So who is right, who is wrong? The confusion and the chaos of the last few days of the window with agents and reporters and journalists not being able to get all the information out in time or quick enough because it's a bit of a scramble. This is what happens. Expect yeses and nos, ifs, maybes, everything going on in these next few days. United want rid of Sancho. That's the only guarantee that we can give you from what the reports are this morning. And it's just an absolute minefield of different opinions, different reports, different stipulations, permutations, options, salaries, structures of wage. Honestly, there's so much going on with the Sancho situation. It's just full on mass complication and a big issue for United that they're just going to keep on having every single summer until Ineos have had a few summers in and we've managed to wean out the shit out of this football club, because that's what we're dealing with. It is clubs not being stupid enough to even fall into the United's trap of taking a player that has been a constant pain in the ass for this football club. It's quite clear that United are in a position where they're trying to hold their own while being realistic with what they do. So, any new McTominay bid from Napoli? Adam, I'm going to get onto that in a minute. Thanks for the super chat, Stretford. There is McTominay updates as well, so I'm going to come to that in a second. But just around Jadon Sancho's news off, where we're at, it looks like it is all pending Chiesa going to Barcelona. The issue that I've got with that is that Dani Olmo, who Barcelona have signed, isn't even registered yet because they can't afford to register him. So if they're going to take Chiesa, then I don't know if it matters if they commit and buy Chiesa from Juve, that they're clear. Honestly, Barcelona have to seem to buy players in and then deal with their own crap in-house and trying to get things done. Why they've bought Olmo and not been able to play him? Because of other situations going on with their finances and wage structures. I do not know. But hey, if they want to take Chiesa and take him away, and that opens up the scenario where we can get Sancho gone to Juve, I'm all fine with it. I just don't see Barcelona dropping themselves further into the crap. But they've done it before, so let's see what happens from that situation. Juve are not going to pay Sancho's wages. They are not going to buy Jadon Sancho. It has to be a loan. They're not even fully committing to an obligation to buy. That's what I'm being told, and that's what Romano and Damasio are sort of hedging their bets around and sort of skirting on the edges with, because they're so big, and they won't actually come out and say it, whereas other journalists will come out and say, look, Juventus will not go for an obligation to buy. Whether or not United can put something in terms of if he hits a certain mark, the obligation kicks in, we don't know. We don't know. That is just completely up in the air, and negotiations are on. If you ask me, if Jadon Sancho is leaving Manchester United, I'm going to tell you right now, I am 60-40 Jadon Sancho stays. Going off what I've read and what the reports are, I'm sorry, I don't want to be the doom and gloom merchant in all of this, but I have to keep my reality head on right now and say, look, what we're looking at right now is not the ideal situation. United will have to buckle a bit. They're going to have to. It's all right having that hard hand and negotiating hard and thinking of the club's interest and whether or not the Athletics tag came in. When the Athletic made theirs, and you have to look at this, it's like they're saying that they want this and they want that and they want that. But in the same reports to cover themselves, they have said that United would rather keep Jadon Sancho. So that's the one that I'm clinging on to. I'm clinging on to the report what the Athletic put out and said the United would rather keep Jadon Sancho. The fact that they would rather keep him at the top of that statement and that article rather than sell him on, and they want an obligation to buy. They want a loan fee. They want the wages covered. No, and no. That's not all going to happen in one deal. So I go with the Athletics headline and what they put at the front of it. They would rather keep him, because then they can come out and say that we were right. They would rather keep him. Well, that's going to clearly happen if all of these deals and all of this mess can't be figured out. So the bigger chance is that none of it gets worked out because it's too complicated. And the Athletic are right in saying what they said in Jadon Sancho stays. That's how the journalists work. That's how everybody works. That's how Romano, Damasio, Plettenberg, everyone always works that way. So always look for the little headline at the top and the stipulation bit, just to cover themselves, because they can always go back to that and say, well, we did say they would rather keep him if it didn't actually happen. So everything that's going on is just building up a bit of excitement that Jadon Sancho might actually go. The reality of it is, and I'm sorry to say it, he won't go, and we'll be stuck with him. United, unless they actually succumb to Juventus's take it or leave it offer, which is on the table right now, according to the reports in Italy, then he's going to be stuck hanging around that squad. And Ten Hag, again, we've seen what he's doing with the current players right now and struggling again at the start of the season. He's got another problem to deal with, because he has said to Ineos, look, let's bring Sancho back in, let's make this happen, and then we can obviously try and move him on. Unfortunately, 2 months later down the line from that happening, Jadon Sancho is still here, and we are 6 days away from the transfer window ending. Problems? Yes. Oh, I know what you're thinking. I know everybody doesn't want to hear that sort of news, but that's the reality of it. And for being totally honest with you and upfront and how I feel, please give the video a like and make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm just going to tell it you straight. It is what it is. Please do give the video a like. We've only got 100 and odd likes in the room. Well over 900 in here with us as well, creeping up to 1,000. Come on, guys. Show some appreciation and give the video a like. Thank you, everybody. Okay, moving on to what's happening with Scott McTominay and the news there. Again, Fabrizio Romano come out and said earlier this morning, or I think late last night it was, that it's still not enough for Scott McTominay to move from United to Napoli. That being the €25 million offer that went in over the last couple of days from them. And Romano was talking about that. He's come out and said officially that it has been rejected. So Napoli hopes to reach an agreement with Manchester United for Scott McTominay after a €25 million bid rejected. That from Romano's mouth alone. So luckily, and like I said yesterday, the fact that Scott McTominay wants to go to Napoli and didn't want to go to Fulham, and Napoli have put a bid in, it means that they're at the table at least, and negotiations can happen. If you're to ask me, like, who am I more confident of losing, in terms of leaving the football club out of the SANCHO and Scott McTominay, I would actually be more confident that Scott McTominay would leave at this stage, because we know that Napoli are seriously negotiating where United are at. There is an offer already on the table, unlike the loan agreements that are being discussed with Jadon Sancho. Scott McTominay is actually more likely. And obviously, we've seen the limitations of Scott on the pitch yesterday. He really did absolutely nothing when he came on, and the game went to pot. That's not Scott McTominay's fault. That's Erik ten Hag's fault for bringing him on for Bruno Fernandes. We discussed that yesterday. So, really, if we was putting Scott in the market in that game, it didn't go well. But, look, either side, Scott's had a couple of cameo appearances. The transfer window shuts before the next game. This week is massive now in terms of Manchester United moving players on, because the fan base is at its wits' end. Everybody who's messaged me, I've had loads of DMs, I've had loads of private messages of people and loads of comments. I put a tweet out yesterday, and I said it last night's show. I just simply said, look, you are always going to get individual errors. You're always going to get lapse in concentration. It happens with every team. United, unfortunately, have a lot of it. And if we don't score goals, we're going to get punished more often than not if we make them lapses in concentration and make them individual errors. It's just inevitable. We don't score goals. That will always be United's biggest problem. Under Ten Hag, we've scored shit. We don't score. It's as simple as that. Scott McTominay isn't always going to come on and bail you out. I mean, he will fit better into Napoli's side, I feel, than Manchester United's. I just feel like Conte has got a clear and obvious plan for him, and that's why he's going for him. And that's why we're lucky that Napoli are well and truly in with the negotiations with Scott McTominay. So, looking at that, I don't think Ten Hag knows how to use Scott. I don't think he has any idea how to get the best out of him. He can't fit him into his first team. He is just a squad player. It's as simple as that. And Conte has got bigger ideas for him. And you have to look at that and go, well, that's probably the better option for Scott. And he probably sees that himself. So when the bid goes in, it's been rejected. We know that from Romano, but we know that Napoli are actually well in with negotiations as well with United now, and could probably get closer to what United want. So there is more of a confident and optimistic vibe going around with the reports around Scott that this could actually happen. And I feel like Scott will end up leaving before this week's out. And then it's up to United to get everything else done. In the meantime, do we actually get a loan for UGARTE and maybe use money from Scott McTominay to actually bring a forward in like we discussed last night? Because United really do need another forward, I feel. And I think that right now is the problem that we're stuck with. It's too much concentration is going on to getting players out and getting other deals done, and we cannot fully concentrate on maybe even bringing another option in. There is just no time left. And we're at that stage that we didn't want to be. And yeah, it's exciting and loads of things can happen and go on. But still, we wanted to be a bit more organised and have everything in place. But again, with United and the players that we're trying to get rid of, which are going to help us bring more players in, we are stuck again in the same scenario. It's just too soon for Ineos to have full control over what they want to implement into their transfer structure. Sadly for us, they are still dealing with the shit from before, and we've just got to suck it up. And we'll get there eventually, but we've got to go through this pain, which is looking at the same players again on the pitch, underperforming under a manager I still don't think knows his best team. And again, the if, buts and maybes have to stop. Why are we giving players so much time to try and find form? Why are we giving Rashford all of this time to find his form when it's clear? Like, I'm not even going to go. Look, I'm going off what other people said. I said that Rashford looked energetic. He had a good 60 minutes of actually putting effort in, and I praised him for that. Everyone else has slaughtered him. I'm just going to say that and get that out there right now. I looked at De Jong and what he said. De Boer and what he said. Shearer last night absolutely piled into him. I don't even have to be the one that says it. Everybody else is saying it. So you can't even come at me and say that. You can't even come at me and say what I said about Ten Hag. Look, I'm dealing with Ten Hag. Other people are not. Other people are having absolute meltdowns about him. And I said it last night. What the fucking hell do you expect? It's the same manager. He's not going to change his spots. Hopefully, Haak and Ruud van Nistelrooy can give him a little tap on the head and just say, look, it's not working, Eric. We need to do something different, mate. It's clearly not going to work. Like, you cannot find, and you won't have the time. Like, Ten Hag thinks he's got 7 years to get this right. In his head, he thinks this is going to be fantastic in another 7 to 10 years' time. You're not going to get that time. He's forgot about the previous 2 years, apart from the trophies he's picked up. And now we're looking at a situation where it's exactly the same as the previous 2 seasons. Getting off to a shocking start, and it might change. We may beat Liverpool, and it will be our best start under Ten Hag ever. And that's how knife-edged it is right now at United. But we just, again, it goes back to my old argument. I'll always have the fear factor because of the decisions that he's making, because we do not score any goals. And as long as you haven't got an out-and-out goal scorer and you're hoping that Rashford comes to form and you don't know who to play out of your other forwards in Xerxes, Garnacho and Ahmad, as long as you've got that uncertainty, it's always going to continue going on exactly the same way. Look, I've said enough on the transfers and everything like that. I want to get into your comments on everything now and give you guys a chance to vent or get your frustrations out or talk of the transfers and how you think it's best we deal with it. Jonathan is in. Brighton game was last season personified. Did enough to win comfortably, but did not take our chances, chased the game and lost. Individual errors again with that. Yeah, Kaze, we were very crap yesterday. The lineup was totally wrong and the subs were wrong. McTominay has won 10-goal season, no other double-digit season, 177 Premier League matches, 19 goals, 4 assists, tackle success 54%, pass accuracy 82, not good player. Average or bad at everything. Oh, Sancho, Maguire, McTominay, Rashford, Lindelof, Shaw need to hear what Chelsea said to Sterling. You have no future here, so find another club. We need to take the highest bid, whatever that is. That's from Ride. A says Rashford should not be a starter anymore. Harry Beckenbauer, Eva, and we need Harry Beckenbauer, Eva, and we need a 9-minute one. What? We need a 9 from one. All right, we need a 9 from minute 1 up front. Sorry, that was my reading that. Let's see. Question, Adam. I think Eric will be gone by Xmas and Rude will be in charge, sadly. I do think Rude is in place just in case. It's like I was talking about this with Kaz last night. It's like, I think they will go with Rude if Eric does go. Look, I'm not even saying Eric's going. Look, there's plenty of time to turn this around. And I don't want to be that knee-jerk. I'll just keep on to what I believe is the problem at United. And it's what I just said. It's Ten Hag persisting with certain players he thinks are good that we all know are not. And United don't score goals. And it's too much pressure on the back line. Because when a striker misses a chance, at least we're creating the chances. But when a defender misses a chance or actually makes a mistake, it costs us the game. And then everyone's slagging the defence off. Look, it would have been laughable. And the defence, kamikaze defending yesterday, would have been brought up still. Even if we'd have scored goals and been in a position, and maybe that was an equaliser for Brighton, or even it was a consolation goal because we took our chances, we still would have been slagging it off. But the fact of the matter is, results win prizes, and the results are being blown right now simply by them individual errors up front. The ones at the back cost us more, and Anna's mistakes cost us more. We've seen it last season. But if Manchester United don't score goals, it just piles the pressure on the back line. I was saying this constantly last season. I do feel like United are trying to protect Marcus Rashford right now. I feel like there's this inside them, this like sort of like, let's just protect one of our own and try and help him as best we can. It's to the detriment of the manager though. It is. Because Ten Hag is going to lose. Rashford's not going to lose his job. Ten Hag will lose his in playing him. And he has spent over 100 million on 2 forwards in Højlund and Xerxes. And I guarantee he still doesn't know how to play them both or who to play them with. And that's a problem 3 years into your tenure at a football club as a manager. You need to know who your striker is. You need to know who you're building around. It chops and changes constantly all of the time. Like you've got Garnacho, who's come on off the bench twice and scored. He's come off, actually, from the Community Shield, he's come on, scored, which should have been the winner. Lapse in concentration at the back again, cost us that one. He has come on and made an assist and got us a win in the opening game against Fulham. He's come on yesterday and got us the winner, which it should have been. But for Xerxes, unluckily, momentum sliding into the ball and the most freakish VAR goal disallowed ever. That's 3 massive contributions off the bench. No, sit on the bench for the next game, Garnacho. You're not good enough. You're not world class. And the questions that Ten Hag was asked, he's right in saying that. But I tell you what, he's a damn sight better than bleeding Marcus Rashford right now, isn't there? And he's doing more in 10-minute, 15-minute cameos than Rashford will in a whole 60, 70 minutes of the game. Look, you've got a clear and obvious quality player there in Garnacho, who you started continuously every single week last season, and he bailed Ten Hag out in a lot of occasions. He was fantastic last season, Garnacho. And now all of a sudden, we're now going to decide to sort of like ease him in. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And where Xerxes fits in, again, my issue with versatile players is the manager never knows where the best position is. And you spend all that money on a player. I love players that I know are going to play in a certain position. It's like Mazraoui. I know he's going to be on the right. It's fantastic. Brilliant. Stick him on the right. Here we go. Let's go forward. Know exactly where he's going to play. Centre-backs, same again. Left-back situation. I would prefer Shaw if he was fit to Dalot. I'm going to be honest. But Shaw is never fit. Casemiro, I know where he's going to play. Bruno Fernandes, he doesn't know where to play him. Mason Mount, he doesn't know where to play him. Garnacho, don't know where to put him in front of Rashford or not to upset Marcus Rashford. He's trying to squeeze Ahmad in when Xerxes and Højlund are fit. Who is your actual number 9? Where is Xerxes' best position? Where is he going to play? If, buts, maybes, confusion, a lot of money spent with no real plan of knowing what your best side is. It's a recipe for disaster, and it's exactly the same as what happened last season. And I don't want to keep on. I'm going on about it, and I'm stupid. I forget what I just said there. I don't want to keep on going on about it, but I am. So you can come at me if you want on that one. It's just a concerned Manchester United fan. And I feel this in what other people are telling me. And I can't get through everyone's comments all at once. But from everything what people have said, that's just come out in what I've said there. And this team is never going to go forward. Well, Ten Hag is so indecisive about his selection and who his best team is. Honestly, I fear for the likes of Xerxes and getting his chance on where he plays. You imagine when Højlund comes back fit. You've got Marcus Rashford. You may even have Jadon Sancho stuck in the squad as well at this rate. Ahmad, Garnacho. Who plays? Who plays? So no one can actually tell me you're convinced. You are. You know exactly who you're going to play as a United fan. But you cannot, hand on heart, tell me that you know and you're confident that Ten Hag knows who his best forward line is and who he's going to play. No one knows. Like, you could go to City, you know who's playing. Arsenal, you know who's playing. You could go to Newcastle, you could go to Liverpool, you could go to Villa, you could go to West Ham. Every single one of them teams, I can tell you who their starting lineup is. My own team, I haven't got a bleeding Scooby-Doo who's going to play. 3rd season in a row. And I can feel myself ranting and getting angry about everything again now all of a sudden, because I'm just going backwards again. Xerxes is a false 9, so why play Bruno there? Says Mark. Xerxes brings us something different, is what Ten Hag said. He brings us a quality that other players haven't got. And I can see them qualities. Like, in time, I've watched Xerxes, I'm like, he has got something that scares defenders. He's got strength, he's got power, he's got pace, he's got skills. And he's a player that I would probably be playing at 9. Like, false 9, jumping off. Yeah, maybe, do you know what? There is a case to rest out Kobe Mainoo, or even sometimes you could rest out Casemiro and bring Bruno back a bit deeper. Until he starts changing the shape, I just don't think this squad fits the formation that Ten Hag wants to play. I think he's got too many problems. I think he does need to change the shape of the team. I think he needs to bite the bullet and go, do you know what? I need a different formation. Because the players that he's got in this squad do not fit what he wants to do on the pitch. And it's proven. 2 years with hardly any goals scored. And now we started off 2 goals again in 2 games. Honestly, the pre-season should have told us enough already. Like, no goals. Charity Shield, no goals. Start of the season, no goals again. Liverpool coming up on Sunday. When I talk about knife edge, and when I talk about actually where Manchester United are, it's this Liverpool game coming up. If this window in this next week goes wrong for United, you can see where the fan base is going. Now this window can go exactly where United need to go. And that is UGARTE coming in, Sancho and McTominay both leaving. United possibly sneaking in another forward somewhere. I don't know. But them 3 deals, McTominay, Sancho and UGARTE, need to go the right way, and we need a positive result against Liverpool, because it's, like I said, the knife edge is it's Ten Hag's worst season again if we lose, and it's Ten Hag's best start to a season if we win. That's how close it is, and they're the fine margins in football, and that is exactly what we're up against. But yeah, to top everything off in terms of the transfers and everything like that, guys, we will be back at 12 o'clock as well with a more in-depth show and get more of your comments in as well. Fully interactive, guys, and more updates on the news. But Sancho to Juventus, ultimatum made, take it or leave it offer from Juve is on the table. It's up to United. That's according to the likes of Damasio and Fabrizio Romano over from Italy. The Athletic are saying United will not entertain any deal loan-wise unless it's financially beneficial to them. So contrasting reports. Romano says, don't worry about UGARTE, the deal is going forward. He's been saying that for 2 months. And Scott McTominay's bid, again, is being considered after Napoli's first has been rejected. There is more conversations about trying to meet somewhere in the middle between United and Napoli. And that's pretty much where we're up to with everything on this Sunday morning. Well, there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Quick fire show there. We'll be back at 12 o'clock, like I said. Thank you, all chats and everyone. Super chat writing at the end there. £7 a pint in the away end yesterday. I feel violated after the result. And the costings definitely block. 100%. I'll get through loads more of your comments in the live show. But please do, if you want to have a go at me or have a say about anything I've gone into this morning, on my little mini rant or anything like that, then get your comments in below when this video finishes its live, guys, and let me know what you feel about everything I've said about the transfers and my opinion on where we're at with the inconsistency of starting lineups and not knowing our best team. I want to know your feelings on that, and get your comments in below as well, everyone. Absolutely loved it. Thank you, guys. I will see you all at 12 o'clock. Have a good Sunday morning.